Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Claw on the King podcast. I was just going to be interrupted by my co-host, Dopey, over there. How are you today?
I'm very well.
You
very
good? Well, yeah, been an interesting couple of days of sport. Not the best, if I do say so myself. Not the first time I've said that this year, actually, which is not the best. But, yeah, great games throughout all sports and all events. And, yeah, we'll just sort of move into... Which one do you reckon we should move into first?
I'll start with the footy. Obviously, the game you're alluding to is obviously the Roosters versus Panthers. If you can't see,
are we going to start there? Do we really need to start there?
But we don't really have to go in depth about it. But we'll talk about Origin mostly. But yeah, obviously the Panthers smashed them.
Let's start there. Let's not talk about any other games apart from the one game.
Well, none of the other games are really important, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Why? What even happened in
the
them?
Broncos-Rabbitohs game? Was that a thing?
No, they didn't even play each other.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. Who else played? The Warriors had a good game, I heard.
Yeah.
The Seagulls, they played well against the Dolphins. They smashed up the Dolphins. Good on the Seagulls. Tommy Turbo's looking good. He's looking right for Origin.
He's going to get picked.
Which is not great because he stunk up the gaff last time. But anywho. Yeah. What else happened?
But yeah, well, I mean, the main conversation's around...
Is it?
The New South Wales team.
Okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
With Brad Fittler's job allegedly on the line, which it should already be off the line. But
I don't think it is, though.
If he loses the series, it has to be.
It has to be, but it won't be.
But yeah, basically, obviously, if you didn't know, you're living under a rock, Nathan Cleary's torn his hamstring, so he's out for the rest of the series. So there's been so much conjecture around who should be the halves for Game 2. New South Wales has so many options as well, which is kind of annoying because it makes it so easy to make the wrong decision. You know, I've heard anything from Luai to Walker to Burton to Reynolds to Moses to Hines, like so many different combinations between all those players. And honestly, I think what's come out is that Luai and Moses are the favourite, and that's maybe the last combination I would have picked out of all of them.
Yeah. Oh, it wouldn't be the last. Hines and Luai would be equally as bad.
I would have gone Hines and Luai.
Why?
Because Nico
Hines... Two running halves?
Nico Hines isn't a running half. He's good at running, but he can also kick.
But he's not a kick specialist. Neither of those guys has any sort of reputation for being a good long field kicker, which you need to be in Origin. You need to have a fucking boot on you. And neither of those guys have that reputation. That would be a terrible, absolute... This is why you're not the Origin selector. No wonder you were happy with fucking
Nico
Game 1
Hines
when there was 8 Panthers players
Matt
in there.
Moylan can't kick for shit. Nico Hines does all the kicking at the Sharks.
Yeah, but the Sharks don't do much kicking. It's all really... They generate all their points from short, sort of intricate plays, running on fucking tackle 5. And they've got a lot of ball players on that team. It's not just Nico Hines. He's got a decent kicking game, but he is nowhere near the likes of Adam Reynolds.
No, he isn't. No, he doesn't have the same kicking game as a Reynolds or even a Moses, but I think he's better in all other areas than those guys.
And a rookie, I know he's won the Dally M, but he's a very young guy.
He's like 27.
He's like second year starting. And he's thrown into Suncorp Arena to, try and captain, or not captain, but try and lead the New South Wales team through a very difficult period. I don't see it. Personally, I would have played him Game 1 if he was alongside Cleary in a neutral ground that isn't hostile. But I just don't think the setting, I don't think the team is right for him. And I think it's just throwing him to the Wolves. And it's basically just picking him based on deserving to be picked rather than who's the best fit for the game. Your aim is to win the game. It's not to build a team for the future. It's to win one game at Suncorp. You need to get the best player to do that. And in my opinion, it's Adam Reynolds.
And who?
Adam Reynolds. It's a tricky one. Number 6. I wouldn't be mad if they did Reynolds and Hines in there. I don't think that would be the end of the world. But again, it's a tricky one.
Well, it'll be Walker or Luai.
I would assume Walker would be the best option at the moment. Now, I'm hesitant to pick Walker because of he hasn't performed in a New South Wales jersey before.
And he's also injured.
However, he is in career best form. He is one of the best players in the comp at the moment. And when he was playing for New South Wales, he wasn't nearly as good as he is now. it's a very tricky one. And I think people say the combination with Latrell. I don't know if it's similar because Latrell obviously plays fullback for the Bunnies. And him playing left centre is going to be a bit weirder for those guys to adjust. It's going to take time for those.
You've got a ball stopper and Teddy in between those two. So
God, here we go. But yeah, I just think that Cody Walker at the moment is in such good form, and the Bunnies are flying in terms of points, and he can break a game open. He is such a he's a smart player as well. He's a very sensible player, which I think we need, and we need a grounded, sensible veteran player in the middle of the park to sort of dictate things. He'll get set restarts. He'll get dropouts. He'll get all those little things. He'll make the right play on tackle 4 and not throw it to the ground like a certain Panthers players Panthers players did. Never mind, Panther player did, and just run around aimlessly like a headless chicken. He won't do that. I do worry about his overall ability to impact the game because of what I've seen in the past. But I think with Reynolds, you've got Cody Walker, and Reynolds have played before. Cody Walker is a natural runner of the ball. Reynolds is probably the best kicking game in the comp, both short and long field positions. Very, very talented kicker. He knows Suncorp. He's played there for the past 2 seasons. He knows the players. Most of those fucking Maroons players are Broncos. I think it'd be very, very deadly if you have a Reynolds-Walker combination in the middle of the park. And Reynolds, I don't think will be picked, unfortunately, but I think he'll be definitely Moses. If you're thinking inside Freddie's mind, he's worked with Moses before. He obviously likes Moses a lot, and he would have picked Moses every series if Cleary wasn't, a top 3 player in the comp. The reports coming out is that Moses is the favourite, and you just knew it was going to happen when Gus Gould came out and said it. They're best mates.
Moses. I mean,
Gus Gould literally went to Freddie's house when he was 16 years old to try and fucking recruit him to Penrith. They are best mates beyond best mates.
And Moses would be my last choice out of the 3.
And I'll stick with Luai because of loyalty, and he didn't have a 1 out of 10 game in fucking game 1.
But I think they just don't want to do all new. I think they're scared of making 10 changes. I think they want to kind of limit the changes, even though they know they need to make a lot of changes. And I mean, Luai and Moses did play together in Game 3 of 2021.
How did that go?
They lost the game, and it was a dead rubber game in the series that we won.
And Moses did have an injury, to be fair.
Yeah, but I mean, still. And people talking about, you got to plan for the future in Mitch Moses. This dude is 30 years old.
There's no future in Mitch.
Origin,
Cleary is the future of Seven. There's no way that he doesn't get picked.
And it's Origin isn't a fucking grassroots program. We're trying to win a series here.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think Reynolds is just a better version of Moses. But for some reason, Freddie loves Moses, so he'll probably get the job.
Yeah, I imagine that. I do imagine that Moses will get the job, unfortunately. It is what it is. You can't fucking change shit like that. But I just hope that he doesn't pick Turbo. He's
going to pick Turbo. And Latrell, if he's fit, there's obviously still a cloud around that, whether he'll be ready to go.
Well, is Campbell Graham fit? Campbell Graham?
I don't know, but I think Crichton's jumped him now.
No way.
He
doesn't play right centre.
He does play right centre.
Crichton does?
Yeah.
I thought he played left centre.
He plays it in Origin because Freddie's an idiot.
Oh, okay. I don't think you can pick Crichton over Campbell Graham.
Dead set, not even biased. He's been the best centre in the comp the past 6 weeks.
Has he? I think Campbell Graham, over the course of the season, has been better than him. By far.
Maybe. It's not by far. Maybe
defensively, way better. In terms of making stupid, idiot mistakes like trying to offload the ball on your own goal line, I don't think Campbell Graham's done that yet. Unlike a certain Penrith player instead of Origin. So, look, I think that...
I think Crichton's jumped him.
No, Crichton's had one awful game and one mediocre game. That does not give you the right to jump arguably one of the most informed players in the comp. In my opinion.
But Campbell Graham, all his tries are just walkovers because South's shape is so good.
Yeah, and if we pick Cody Walker, then we're going to get fucking Walker and Latrell Mitchell. We're going to get It's not just walkovers, by the way. It's one-on-one situations, and he dominates in that because he's so lanky and strong at the same time. He can break through the line and give a fucking cheeky offload to the winger, who hopefully is Adokar, who's fucking rapid and is one of the best finishers in the game. That's how it should go, ideally. Or Toto.
What, Latrell and Toto?
Or Toto.
Turbo and Toto. Well, Turbo's going to be one of them, so it'll either be Latrell or Campbell Graham or Crichton. The other one.
God. Well, it's better be Latrell. Hopefully Latrell's fit. If they don't pick Latrell and he's fit, that's just a joke.
No.
And there's got to be serious discussions about Latrell at this point. How many times can you be healthy the entire season and then injured during Origin?
They when he did the calf, they were like, oh, it's literally a 2-day injury. He'll be ready next week. He still hasn't played and he's still in doubt. So,
yeah.
I think he's just got one of those bodies that doesn't heal very well.
Well, he never really was injured with the Roosters. I just think he's a lot bigger now. I think that's probably the main thing. He runs so much and he's such a powerful, dynamic athlete. Carrying around that type of weight, it will take a toll on you. Like Wade Graham is a perfect example.
Wade Graham?
Well, yeah, he got injured all the time because he was fucking running around playing like halfback. And, well, he tore, like, where did he tear the... I think it was a finals game against the Roosters, actually, where he tore... his ACL, maybe. I'm not too sure on the exact injury, but a guy like that was very injury prone. I think it's similar in the fact that he's just got so much weight. Not. I'm saying he's fat.
So you're
but
suggesting a diet?
I'm just saying
regime?
that it's just natural. I think he's great in his current form because of how powerful he is, and that helps so much. But I think it also has its side effects. Also has its consequences, and I think injuries are a big part of that consequence. So. I can't see him being healthy consistently ever again, really.
Ever again?
It's too common at this point. It's too many different injuries. It's too common. There's no way.
He's not like the most injury-prone player.
Yeah, Matt Moylan is, but I mean,
Matt Moylan hasn't been injured in 3 years.
Yeah, but before those 3 years, he was got play a game.
Did you watch the Sharks game yesterday?
I watched bits of it.
To be fair, I think Hines lost the jersey during that game. He was fucking terrible. And the Sharks were terrible. And
I did hear that, yeah.
And although I love Moyser, he missed about 45 tackles and let in about 10 tries. So
yeah. Didn't you say that you would pick Moyser for Origin if it wasn't for
before that game, you could have gone Moyser and Hines, but I don't know.
Could you imagine that? God. How many people do you think would be... that would be the most shocking news, do you reckon, you've ever heard in Australian sport? Matt Moylan. Matt Moylan coming back.
Right behind Tavita getting picked.
Oh, yeah. Right behind. If that guy gets picked again, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean...
He had a great game against the Roosters, funny enough, in Central Coast, like the week after Origin. Or like a couple of days after Origin. But surely
Spencer Leniu is just like a better version of Tavita Pangai Jr.
He is.
Yeah.
But only Freddie can't see that. He's literally the only Penrith player I'd pick. And Liam Martin. And Yo.
And Cleary if he's fit.
But he's not fit. I'm talking about for this game.
Yeah. And I tell you what, Freddie, he knows he has to pick Tedesco, but I mean, God, he must want to pick Dylan Edwards. That guy is so good.
No, he's not.
Dude, if Tedesco...
He's in an unbelievable team.
If Tedesco got like a little 2-week injury, that would be perfect.
No.
So you don't have to drop him and Dylan Edwards gets him.
The Tedesco hate is just ridiculous.
It's not Tedesco hate, but Dylan Edwards is just better now.
2 days after State of Origin, he had an unbelievable game.
Yeah, and you guys got a 1-point win against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, but he won us the game. He is still an unbelievable player. The Tedesco hate is just so ridiculous.
Well, I mean, he didn't do much yesterday or on Saturday.
We got trumped fucking 30-0. Does it matter? How can you him to get involved in a game like that? I mean, first off, the ref was shocking in the first half. But the first half alone, I thought we played better than you. But, I mean, that's by the by.
We had, like, all the possession. You just were defending us on your line.
Yeah, that's by the by. I think we could have won the game in the first half. It should not have been 10-0. You had the luckiest fucking breakaway stupid try.
Because Liam Munn's a beast.
And Matt Lodge tripped over the ball on zero tackles.
That guy fucking made 4 errors in 10 minutes, so...
But yeah, it wasn't Tedesco. Again, you can't blame Tedesco for losing that game. If people that want him out or don't want him picked are just stupid, in my opinion.
I don't want him out, but I just think Dylan Edwards is better now.
No, but that's so like reactionary. That's so...
No, I'm just saying in terms of who's a better player, I think Dylan Edwards is a better player.
No one before game one would have said that, other than you. No one.
Yeah, because everybody's just doesn't give
And
Dylan Edwards a
Tedesco's
chance.
consistently... And the meters that he ate up in game one was unreal as well. But that's not even the point. Every other State of Origin game, he has performed unbelievably.
Yeah, he has. But it's not like a...
So one mediocre game...
No, I'm talking about club form throughout the entire season.
Yeah, but Penrith players are the best players in the comp. So it's very easy to, especially Dylan Edwards, who is not a creator whatsoever, cannot pass the ball. You're talking about
pass.
No, you're talking about Teddy being a fucking ball hog. I dare you to see if Dylan Edwards can throw the ball more than 20 meters.
He can.
No way.
Yes,
No
he
way.
can.
I've never seen that guy create anything in his life. He is a very good runner of the ball. He's very good at eating meters. So is Tedesco. Tedesco is probably the best of the comp at that. He's probably a younger version of Teddy. You can make that sort of comparison.
Fine.
They're very similar.
Well, next year he gets in for Origin.
Hang on. What if Teddy plays unbelievably in game 2 and we win the game in Suncorp? Are you going to still ask for Teddy to be dropped?
No.
So you're Mr. Reaction.
I'm not asking for him to be dropped. I'm asking for him to have a 2-week injury so he doesn't have to be dropped. And
Oh
Dylan
my
Edwards
god,
can
2
play.
weekend. Yeah, okay. That's so. But what if Dylan Edwards plays well? Is he going to play game 3 then?
Yeah.
And Teddy's fit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Teddy can be like 18th man.
Oh my god! Right. Okay. That's just idiot of the week. Is
Idiot
over
of the
here.
week.
I can guarantee you, Turbo gets picked over Edwards. Latrell gets picked over Edwards. Probably the King Gutherson gets picked over Dylan Edwards.
The King does not get picked.
There's
over
no
Dylan
way
Edwards.
that fucking Dylan
The
Edwards
King might get in
makes
at centre. We forgot about that. He's got a shot at centre.
Oh, mate! I swear to God, if it's like a Luai
Moses and Gutherson connection.
Oh God,
There-
I've just
we forgot
thought about
about
it. I've just thought about it. Oh God.
Regan
Oh, no.
Gillard, he's back this week. He can
Oh
go in.
God. To be fair, is Reid Marnie
No.
He's Queenslander. Fuck. Because I was thinking that. I was like, Reid Marnie should probably be in the discussion here for number 9.
I don't think he's at his best year.
but I think he's a quality hooker. He's very, very good. It's kind of unlucky for him. He's just come along. It's kind of like the Jake Friend thing where you got Cameron Smith in front of you. You can't really do much, even though you're a top 3 hooker in the league.
Well, Ben Hunt's going to retire. Well, he's 33, so...
Yeah. So, yeah, they'll probably just do a like-for-like swap. Maybe Reece Robson comes in at 9.
No, it has to be
If
Cook. You can't throw Reece Robson in there. And I think you sack off the 2 hooker
But the 2 hooker thing works.
No, it works for Queensland because they have the perfect
But when we
players to
mirrored
do
it, it
We
worked.
lost.
In game 2, we mirrored it last year and it worked.
And game 3, we did it and we lost.
Yeah, but that wasn't because we had the 2 hooker thing. That was just because we just choked the game and Nathan Cleary decided to chip the ball on his fucking own 30-metre line.
But Cook can play 80 and it allows you to put Matt Burton on the bench who can cover way more positions. Like, Reece Robson's a specialist hooker and you want him to debut in game 2, series on the line.
But he plays in Queensland. He knows a lot of those
But is he
players.
even that good? Like,
I think he's a really good defensive. You need defensive. I just think Damien Cook defensively.
he's pretty good defensively.
I know, but you want elite defensively in Origin, especially in Suncorp. It's going to be a tight game, no matter what team you pick. You want the most stout, defensive, strong team in there. And I just personally would probably go with the 2 hooker strategy. So you can rotate the hookers. Well, because you saw Appy, he fucking played 80 minutes. You need guys that are going to rotate in and out. You need a hooker that can hookers, so they they go through so much work.
Put Luai to hooker. Put
Luai to hooker.
Burton to 6.
God,
What?
could you imagine?
What?
Luai fucking
For
hooker
10
trying
minutes-
to make
for
Did
10 minutes,
Did you
he can
imagine
pass
that
the
guy
ball.
trying to make tackles for friggin' 20 minutes straight?
He's
God,
not a bad defender.
he's a terrible defender.
Ow.
Because his
don't-
long hair gets in his eyes. He can't fucking see the defense.
He had the headgear on this week.
Is that what he's going to do in Origin? He's just going to fucking tie it up
Maybe.
in a fucking...
The headgear
He's going to have like a
boys.
Mulan bun. He's just going to...
Panthers are bringing back the headgear.
No. What do you mean bringing back the headgear?
Well,
they've started some fucking trend, like the
they've started a
boombox
trend.
fucking shit.
10 years ago, I reckon there was 2 players in the NRL wearing headgear.
All right. Great. We've migrated into Penrith Panthers are the new headgear assassins in the NRL. Great.
Yeah. Playing
cool.
footy and doing it safely.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, we'll leave that there. Shifting over to another sport, that is basketball.
Basketball.
Obviously, the Denver Nuggets are basically crowned champions at this point. It's at the day of recording, they're up 3-1.
Oh, you don't believe in Himmy?
I do believe in Himmy, but I don't believe in anyone else on that team. So, look, if they do come back from 3-1, that would be incredible, and I'd love that. But I wouldn't be putting my money on it, that's for sure.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't be. Bam Adebayo is probably the most frustrating player to watch. I know he hasn't had a bad series. Stop taking fadeaway mid-ranges. You're not Kobe Bryant. You're a center. Stop taking fadeaway mid-ranges. It's the most stupid, inefficient. Even when it goes in, it just doesn't feel like they've made a shot. It just feels like
he's just got a weird-looking shot. But it's strange because he takes so many mid-ranges, but he refuses to shoot a three.
Well, I mean, he can't shoot a three, so let's not pray for Bam Adebayo threes. But yeah, it's just awful from the Heat. The players that won them the series in against Boston, against Milwaukee, just haven't stepped up at all. This shows you the difference between your role players performing and not performing. I think Jimmy should have had probably a bigger game. It's the NBA Finals. I know he's
on one leg. He's not 100%,
but Max Strus, he's probably going to go down as the worst finals ever from a performance perspective.
Maybe
2-0 games. You made 0. One of them was like 0 for 11, which is horrendous. The other game, I think he was 4 for 10. Game 2, game 3 was 1 for 7. Game 1 he was 0 for 11. Game 4 he was 0 for 4. I mean, what is that? Like 15% from the. Shocking, absolutely shocking. Caleb Martin hasn't been bad. Had a really bad first game. I don't think he's been terrible, but he just hasn't had the impact. No way. I mean, he should have been probably the player of the series against Boston, but this series, he just hasn't really made that impact. Gabe Vincent had a terrible game last game. It just seems like those role players that were consistently playing unbelievably well, putting 15 points or more, some of them putting up 25, 30-point games, they just seem like they just can't be able to do it anymore. There's something about the Nuggets, and the main takeaway that you watch, when you watch the games, the main takeaway that you get is how much bigger the Nuggets are. They're just so much more athletic and stronger. It's just, they take advantage of it. I think Jeff Van Gundy mentioned it in the commentary. The Denver Nuggets do not let a switch go on unpunished. Especially Aaron Gordon, you saw last game. Every time they switched Gabe Vincent onto him because Jokic had the ball or whatever, he took advantage of it, he took him in the post, and he dunked on him. That's what the Nuggets have been great at. They've been great at taking advantage of mismatches and making sure that the Heat feel like they're being physically dominated, not only by the scoreboard, but physically as well. So, yeah, props to the Nuggets. They're clearly the best team in the league. I don't think any team, even Boston or Milwaukee. Milwaukee actually, I think, could have made a bit more of a difference, especially with Giannis's. Probably would have been a better matchup with Giannis's strength and height. Brook Lopez very strong as well. Bobby Portis very strong. I think it would have matched up a lot better. But yeah, I mean, you lose round one. It was just, I think Miami just had an unbelievable run. And they're just getting shown that it's where the big boys play.
They still have had one of the best postseason runs all time, as from an 8 seed, which is kind of weird because technically they're a 7th seed, but because they lost the playing game, they're an 8th seed. But still a great postseason run. The Nuggets, they have so many weapons. Like everybody on the floor is a lethal shooter for them.
Apart from Michael Porter Jr. is stinking up this series, and they're still dominating.
Even him, he's a gun when he gets it going. And like Bruce Brown, where the fuck did this guy come from? He's just
he looks like a frog. He was good with the Nets.
Yeah, but he wasn't this good.
But also, Steve Nash was coaching, so you got to give him some leeway there.
So Bruce Brown's turned into a beast. Jokic is obviously no one can guard him on the Heat. They're just so small. Adebayo's, he's an undersized center as it is, and he's trying to go against Jokic, who's just looks like he's twice his size. Yeah. Jamal Murray, he hasn't even been amazing this series, but they're still doing it reasonably easily.
I don't think he had
He's been up and down.
Yeah, he's been up and down. He had a great game 3. You can definitely see the impact. They the Nuggets pull away definitely when he's performing on an elite level. It's just the Heat always are in shooting distance.
Yeah.
They're always in that sort of...
But that was the Lakers series. We were always right there, and then at the end, they just go bang, 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 and the game's over.
Yeah, fair. I just think it's a bad matchup. I think you saw it coming in. As I predicted on this podcast, I did predict Nuggets in 5.
Wow, you went out on a limb there.
Well, I mean, everyone thought fucking Jimmy Butler was the next Michael Jordan. I mean, I do think he's Michael Jordan's son, but that's beside the point.
Jimmy Butler is still
Did
Jimmy
you
Butler.
pick the Heat to win?
Yeah, because I wanted them to
Okay,
win.
see?
I said the Nuggets are better, but
you said the Heat. I
because
said,
I
but
wanted
picking
them
the
to win.
game is not a fluke. That's just knowledge.
Is it? Well, okay. Well, I
Knowledge.
picked the Warriors in 6 last year, so
Okay, who can validate that?
it was on here, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, mine happened recently, so people can actually validate it. So anyway, look, at the end of the day, the Heat had a good run. I think the Nuggets deserved champions. I know it sounds weird, and I know it sounds made
Imagine
up.
me saying this and they just lose.
I know it sounds made up, but I actually, like, in the first round had, like, a vision in my head that the Nuggets were getting to the NBA Finals and winning it. Like, that. I know that sounds stupid, but I actually had that. And I know that sounds... mate, you had a vision that the number 1 seed made it to the NBA Finals. Good on you. But I honestly thought, when I was watching them in the first round against the Timberwolves, I was like, I can see them in the finals. I can see them playing well in the finals. And
Charles Barkley finally gets a prediction right.
look, it'd be hilarious if the fucking Heat pulled off a miraculous comeback. I just don't see how they can do it for 4 straight games.
They've got to win 2 on the
3
road.
straight games, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to win 3 in a row.
But good news. Good news.
They win 2 in a row, they still have lost.
Yeah. But good news for the Heat is apparently Damian Lillard is a chance of coming in trade. Apparently Heat is his number 1 spot if he gets traded. And
well, doesn't make much sense, does it? They need to get bigger. Damian Lillard is not
they've made
bigger.
it to the final. I reckon if you got Damian Lillard and Jimmy Butler, I'm almost picking you straight away.
Really?
Yeah. And if you can keep Bam.
I don't know. I think it's... Well, it depends. I think Duncan Robertson would obviously have to be involved in the trade.
Yeah, all the role players can fuck off.
Tyler Hero would be involved in the trade.
Yeah, Strus can go. Caleb Martin can go.
Well, I think those guys are on... It's more about making the money work. The main money...
Oladipo can go.
Well, the main money thing would be they'd want Hero. They'd want... But I don't think the Heat can offer that much. I don't think the Trailblazers... I know, but I think the Trailblazers are that stubborn that I don't think they would take, a solid deal for him. They'd want a king's ransom for Damian Lillard. And look, he's a great player, but he's on the wrong side of 30. He's really an inefficient player in terms of defensively. He is a very bad defensive player at this point in his career.
I thought you were just going to say inefficient shooter. I was like, what?
Well, no, he's a great shooter. But I don't know. I just see him staying
But
there. I don't see
beast.
any team giving a king's ransom for a guy that is a one-sided player who is not young anymore. Like back at, what was it, 4 years ago or something, when they made... I can't exactly remember, but it was a couple years ago when Damian Lillard was brought up in trade discussions or was an upcoming free agent or whatever. He was then sought after as a major prospect or a major guy to bring in, to build around. But he's not that anymore. He's a guy that you have to add.
No, but
to an already good.
But like the Heat
good
team, for example, they're a win now team. Like Jimmy's 33.
But who are they going to offer?
Just fucking anyone. Just get it done.
I think that you'd... I don't know. I think the Trailblazers would probably demand that Bam was in the deal.
Fine. If he has to go, he
No,
has to
you
go.
can't get rid of Bam for Damian
You
Lillard.
can then just sign a good free agent center.
You won't have any money. You're paying Jimmy Butler, Damian Lillard.
Just go in the luxury.
That's not how the luxury works. You can only go over the luxury with your own players.
Well, give Cody Zeller a bag.
Cody, oh my God, that guy. Watching him play in the NBA Finals. Is he the worst player to play in the NBA? He's got to be the worst player on the court. Every time you watch him, he's tripping over his own feet. He can't run.
Udonis Haslem got on the court, so...
No. Udonis Haslem is better than Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller consistently gives up and ones, consistently bricks open layups. The guy's terrible.
He does fumble like he gets a bounce pass from Jimmy or something, just fumbles it, and then they go on a fast break.
He's fucking awful. But yeah, we'll see. I can't really see the Heat making any sort of major moves in the offseason anyway. There's just no way.
What if they trade Jimmy? That would be good. We could get Jimmy.
For what?
AD.
I don't think the Lakers would even consider that.
No, they probably wouldn't.
LeBron probably is gone.
LeBron for Jimmy? That's probably fair.
I don't think the Heat consider that either.
I think they would.
No, I think Jimmy's too integral to their culture. And I think LeBron is clearly on the downside. Even though he still can score the ball tremendously, he's still on the downside of his career. Jimmy's he's on the end of his prime, but he's still there. I just don't think the value matches up at this point. But yeah, the NBA Finals.
Great playoffs, but the finals, a little bit of a letdown so far. Okay, we'll shift again. Different sport. Who would have thought? Soccer or football. A lot of big stuff's going on.
You have to start with soccer, don't you?
Well, yeah. A lot of big off-season moves are happening.
Yeah, well,
the season's now
finished. The season's now officially finished, thanks to Man City's treble. Mm-hmm. Great news. You love to see them, win a treble with all their illegal 115 charges that they've done,
Yep.
breaking financial fair play and, basically buying the sport, even though Man United are going to do the same, which I fully encourage. It was very disappointing to watch both finals. I was at the pub with certain people.
It was just funny, the FA Cup one, because they literally
Oh, no, I have to say this. Oh, my God. No,
within 2 seconds.
No, shut up. This guy, again. If you've watched this podcast If you've watched this podcast for a while, I was on the verge of tears listening to this guy. If you've watched this podcast before, you'll know that during State of Origin last year, right, he celebrated Queensland scoring a try. Not like it might, because obviously of his multi, because he's a fucking compulsive gambler. But it's not like
I'm a compulsive gambler.
We're winning 30-4 or whatever. It was I think it was a tied game, or it was like 6-6, and Dane Gagai scores. And he's like, yes! In the middle of a New South Wales pub. And everyone's just staring at him. And everyone's just I couldn't look at him for the rest of the night. And we lost the game. Lo and behold, FA Cup final. I have a Liverpool fan sat next to me. And this idiot sat next to me on my right. And there's not an inch of concern on his face. The first 15 seconds, obviously terrible moment. He is laughing about it.
Because it was just so dumb.
This guy's a Man United fan, by the way. And I can't exactly, because it was 2 weeks ago, to be fair. I can't exactly remember what he said. But he wasn't celebrating, but he was just laughing about it the whole time. He was having a merry time. He was taking a piss. It was like, oh my God, look at that. Are you going to leave, or are you going to... What did you say again? Do you remember what...
Nah, I don't know. I was laughing because of how upset you were and how...
Yeah, he was laughing that I was annoyed that we were losing in the FA Cup final.
I was just laughing at how
he's a Man United fan.
Took it. But no, mate, you were laughing at me at the grand final we went to when I was on the verge of tears.
I'm not a Penrith fan. You're a Man United fan.
But I'm a casual Man United fan.
But still, I lost it in there, to be fair. He was just laughing and joking away. And I was like, mate, I can take it from the Liverpool fan. And he was like giving me shit. He was like, oh, mate, you're going to go to cry. I don't know. He didn't say you're going to go cry, but he said something of that sort of tone. The Liverpool fan next to me, I'm like, mate, I can take him giving me shit. But have some shame, you fucking pillock. Have some fucking pride in yourself and pride in your club. Show some fucking support and don't be an absolute idiot. And I just fucking lost it. And when he left, I was so happy because I was not going to watch, because obviously the train, Sydney is obviously decides to shut down at night. So our nightlife is pretty shit over here. But so the train's cut off at like 12:30 or something like that. I can't exactly remember. But the game was like 60 minutes through before the train cut off because it's obviously late night for us. And he decided to catch the last train, which is understandable if you're a casual. But I was so glad when he left because I was like, I cannot, because I know we were going to lose in my heart. Well, in my head, I knew we were going to lose. In my heart, I thought we could still win. But yeah, he was like, and on the way out, he said, you know we're going to lose, right? And I'm like, mate, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of it. And then he was bad, but also we have another Man United mate in our group. And he decided to leave before the game even started. And it was like, oh, bro, I had work this morning. I'm tired. And I'm like, no, get out. And they try to say bye to me, and I'm like, fuck, get out of here, you fucking cunt. No, mate, you're a dog. Get out of here. And he's trying to say goodbye to me all the time. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Just get out. I couldn't look at him. It's grand final. Well, it's not grand final. It's cup final day against Man City. The chance to stop them winning a treble. The chance to get one over Pep Guardiola. Winning the FA Cup. And these fucking two Man United fans in our group decide to fucking take the piss, essentially.
It was just so funny to me because there was like some sort of belief that United could win, and it was just no. They scored instantly.
Well, to be fair, we did come back.
Okay, a penalty that to the letter of the law is a penalty, but 10 years ago, it's not a penalty.
Well, and also when we were 2-1 down, I mean, Garnacho and Rashford could have easily scored.
Yeah, but from the parts of the game that I watched, the first 60 minutes or whatever, Man City were clearly the better team. I mean, they just had another level of class, and United weren't even playing badly. Like they were creating and they kept the ball decently well, but City were just clearly a better team. So, it was they're just good, and you got to sometimes admit that.
We were going to talk about the treble, and so that just reminded me of this fucking pillock over here. It was a bad night in terms of the Champions League final as well against Inter Milan. Inter Milan had the better chances, had wide open chances, especially in that second half. Were really in that game until fucking Big Rom, the fat oaf, decided to stand in the way of the goal and then miss an open header. I mean,
Big Rom, how old is he?
Could you not fuck us over even more? You literally failed at Man United. You had to be sold like 2 seasons after you were bought.
He's only 30.
You absolutely failed. Could you not just do us one favour? We bought you for £75 million. Could you not just do one favour for us and try and not kill your own team in the Champions League final against Man City? But no, lo and behold, oh God, they really could have. I think it could have easily been 1-1 and headed to extra time or penalties, and that would have been interesting. But the rub of the green just went City's way, unfortunately, in the final. And
great goal from Rodri. That shot was sexy.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Well,
Man City win the treble. And great goal. Great goal.
It was a great goal.
See,
I wasn't brought up with this deep-rooted hate for rival clubs.
Obviously.
So even like back in the day, I liked a lot of Chelsea players, a lot of Man City players, a lot of Arsenal players. So
yeah, this is what Australian football fans are like. People, this is why we don't deserve the A-League to be good in this country, because this is the type of fans that we have of football.
Well, the A-League fans are actually very passionate. The 10 that there are.
Oh my God, it's just a joke, that league. Have you seen like MacArthur? God, it's like the most awful thing. Instead of like clapping, they like ring cowbells because their fucking thing is a ball. There's like 2,000 people at every game. It's a joke, really. It is really just a joke. The A-League at this point, they need to do something to fix it. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, in terms of
Ibra retired.
Ibra retired, obviously, which is a good retirement as well. He sort of had a pipe at the rival fans.
Yeah, they were booing him. He was like, "This is the highlight of your season."
Yeah, which is fair.
Classic Ibra.
But yeah, the season's now over. Man United get top 4. We're actually in the pots have been sort of published for the Champions League next season, and we've got a favourable one. A pot. So what? So what happens is, for the group stages, you get put, depending on where you finish, you get put in 4 pots.
Yeah.
So pot 1 obviously is Man City and all like the teams that finish first in their leagues. Yeah. But we've got into pot 2, which is a very, very advantageous thing because we miss out on Real Madrid, We miss out on like Inter Milan. We miss out on like a lot of the good teams. And really, if you look at the rest of them, they're not like great in terms of pot 3 and pot 4, which is obviously most of the time true to case. It looks like Newcastle got put in pot 4 as well. So they're going to get a group of death most likely. So they're going to get absolutely fucked. Unless they pull some fucking Real Sociedad or fucking random shit out of nowhere. But yeah, a very favourable draw for that. Anyway, in terms of ownership, sort of breakdown for Man United, we're getting, I think the Saudis put in a new bid of
$400 billion.
Probably. Of up their bid. I'm not too sure if it was $6 billion, but it was around the $5.2 billion mark, which is crazy. And then obviously Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who is being an absolute prick at the moment, and he said before the podcast, he said, "Well, I don't really want another reason why he's a terrible Man United fan. I don't really want the Man United, the Saudis to take over Man United because it's kind of morally bad, isn't it?" And I'm like,
"Is he American?"
Right. No, so Jim Ratcliffe is English, and this is why he doesn't know anything. So he's proposing to take over, I think, around 60% of the club. And the Saudis are proposing to take over 100%. Now he's going to be taking over 60% of the club and keeping the Glazers in at 40%. So I think it's Avram and Joel are the main fucking cunts. And he's essentially making a deal for them to keep them in. And because he can't, from a money perspective, rival the Saudis on a full-scale bid, on a full 100% of the club bid. So essentially what he's doing is I think it was a £3 billion bid or £3.5 billion bid for 50%, or I'm not too sure, 50 to 60%. But essentially he valued the club at £6 billion, which is ridiculous. So he's valued the club at a higher amount whilst keeping the pricks that want to stay there. Because not all the Glazer, because there's a lot of Glazer fuckers out there. A lot of them want to sell. But I think Joel and Avram are the main ones that have been involved and that want to stay. So essentially, his bid is looking more favourable at this point because he's valued the club at such a high amount. He's paying such a high price for only half of it in order to get the more favourable bid, because there's no way from a financial standpoint he can match or sort of compete with the Saudis. So not great from that perspective, but there is news coming out of, I think, the Times this morning that sort of elevated my hopes a bit, because they said that even though the Saudis look dead and buried, their most recent bid is looking more favourable to the Glazers and is sort of promoting more good dialogue. So hopefully it gets done by the end of the week, but obviously the Glazers are dragging it out to sort of get the best price. I mean, that's fucking, your nan can tell you that.
$6 billion, you gotta take that, surely.
Well, they're not that's the Glazers' asking price. That's the thing. They've done this stupid rounds of bidding, and you've got to do it's just so stupid. They can't just sit down with the other party and just have a negotiation like normal fucking people. But the Glazers apparently want $6 billion, but the club isn't worth $6 billion. The Saudis are offering, basically, I think their most recent bid, it was £5.2 billion plus £800 million would be invested into the club. So essentially, and the reason why Man United fans want the Saudis and Sheikh Jassim is essentially in their statement, in their proposal, they're proposing to get rid of all the debt on the club, and they're proposing to build a new training centre and basically do a Man City to Man United. Which if you're a Man United fan, you probably want that.
It's very appealing.
Very appealing. Now, they may have murdered a few journalists in their time.
There is some
Who cares?
questionable ethics
all
involved.
Billionaires are pricks, though, aren't they? I mean, come on. The Glazers
the
fucking
Saudis are extra pricky.
Who cares? It's a different world. It's a different country, you know? I mean, it's fucking miles away, that. I mean, who cares?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess they, if it makes them good, fuck it.
Yeah, honestly, I think if you did a poll on Twitter or YouTube or whatever, who would you rather have, Sheikh, on a Man United fan channel or whatever, who would you rather have, Sir Jim Ratcliffe or Sheikh Jassim? Pretty sure 95...
Sheikh Jassim.
Yeah, that's his name. Sheikh Jassim.
Is a sheikh like royalty?
I'm not too sure. I think it is. Yeah, he is the son of, like, the crown prince of, like, Saudi Arabia. I'm not too sure on his exact sort of titles, but he is very high up. He's very wealthy. Let's put it that way. There's been a lot of smearing campaigns done in the media, but that's just the media. So, yeah, essentially from that perspective, hopefully it gets done, it gets wrapped up. There's a lot of transfer news sort of floating about at the moment. Declan Rice is
Leaving.
rumoured to go to Arsenal.
Well, the big one's obviously Messi.
Messi going to Inter Milan.
Miami.
It's Miami. My bad.
He turned down the Saudis, apparently.
Well, he wants to live in Miami. I mean, Miami's a better place to live than fucking Saudi Arabia. I think I think people are maybe a bit overhyping it. He's still going to be a solid player, but he's going there to retire and take a shit ton of money.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know, the thing of having Messi in America.
Yeah, but it's like
if he came to the A-League, it would be huge.
there's more chance. What do you reckon there's more chance of? Do you reckon there's more chance of you becoming the next Jeff Bezos than it is Messi to go in the A-League?
I reckon the Messi one's a higher chance.
Really?
Yeah.
I doubt that. I really do. The A-League couldn't scrap 2 pennies together.
No, it's definitely unlikely, but
they'd have to offer him the whole league. That's how you get him there. You offer him ownership of the... And even if the A-League probably loses money, why would he take that?
I don't know. It was just an example to show how big it is that Messi's going to America.
Yeah, but they've done this before. They've done this kind of stuff before.
Yeah, but not with Messi.
With great players. I mean, fucking Frank Lampard of the world. You know, you got the Drogbas when the Thierry Henry went there. They've done it before. Not really worked out because everyone sees the MLS as a retirement league, and that's what it is. So, yeah. Look, it's a good spectacle for about a month, and then it'll die down.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of transfer news. Benzema obviously leaving Madrid to go to the Saudis.
Well, yes. Talking about the Saudi league, that is sort of... Ronaldo was speaking about how it could be a top 5 league in the world. Well, the amount of money they're spending, maybe. Kante went there as well.
Is Hazard going?
Probably. But it hasn't been done yet. But Kante's gone there for sure. I think he might be on the same team as Benzema as well. But they're just getting paid ridiculous. Apparently, Kante was shocked by the amount of money that they offered him. Because they offered him $100 million a year, which is absolutely bonkers for a guy that's very injury. He's still a solid player, but very injury prone.
Did Pogba go there?
No, Pogba's still at Juventus. Oh. It's did every big player that I know?
Well, they signed a lot of players. I know that.
Well, I don't think they signed a lot. They've signed a lot of. They've gone after a lot of big names, for sure. I think obviously the Benzema one's massive. He's getting paid ridiculous money. But yeah, they're getting a lot of investment, and hopefully, it'll bring more eyes to the league. I don't think it will, but
yeah. So they're getting Ramos, Di Maria.
Yeah, Ramos is gone. Yeah.
Modric, Lloris.
That's rumours though.
Yeah, they're targeted.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Ramos is definitely gone.
I saw that Di Maria is going to Ronaldo's team.
Is he? Well, yeah. I think it'll be an interesting sort of season. Hopefully that they get some more talented players over there, so it's a bit better of a league.
But it sort of just dilutes the European leagues.
I don't know if it dilutes them, so to speak, but yeah, it might do. There's such talent in Europe, and these players, even though they're big names, Di Maria, Benzema's still a great player, but a lot of them are over the hill. They've got a couple years left on their career. It's not like you're losing fucking, Mbappe to fucking the Saudi league.
You never know. He seems like a guy
that would be the crazy. They'd have to pay him billions of dollars a year. There was no way that he would ever leave Europe to go to. He's still getting paid ridiculous money at PSG. There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
And Jude gone to Real Madrid.
Hey Jude gone to Real Madrid. All these Liverpool fans thought they were getting him. Not going. He's going to Real Madrid. Crazy news, and I hoped he would go to Man United personally, but turns out he's not really on the list for Man United. So
you got Mason Mount instead.
We got Macy Mount instead. So good things to look forward to. Anyway, moving on.
Any other big transfer news? Or was that it?
It's early stages of the transfer window, so it's mainly rumours at this point. The main players, obviously, as you mentioned, were the Saudis. So there's not really any big time sort of switch, I don't think, but you never know. You never know what's around the corner. I think, for me personally, it's all about Man United, but the Chelsea going in there for some players. Arsenal are obviously rumoured. It's just basically rumours at this point. But hopefully we'll see some more action in the coming weeks.
Right. Okay. Well, we can sort of keep it on the Saudis a little bit in this next sport. A bit of a recent news that we haven't talked about, I don't think ever on this podcast, but golf.
For good reason.
PGA Tour. They've merged now with the Live Golf, which was the Saudi league. So they're going to merge together, and it's a big talking point because obviously everyone involved in the PGA was heavily against Live last year when it got created. Especially the head guy, I don't know his name, I'm not really into golf that much, but he definitely spoke out publicly about it.
He said some unbelievable things. I thought he was fucking crazy. He was saying, like, have you ever had to apologise to, like, 9/11 victims? I'm like, bro, it's not that deep.
Yeah, so he kind of looks like a bit of an idiot now.
Everyone hates him.
Yeah.
He apparently didn't even tell any of the big play, didn't tell Tiger Woods, didn't tell Rory McIlroy, didn't tell any of them that they were making this deal, and they had to find out through Twitter, essentially, which is absolutely crazy, if I do say so myself. But I'm not a big golf fan. I don't watch golf. I know the recent, I think it was Masters, some guy, I know Brooks Koepka won some big thing recently.
Brooks Koepka.
Yeah.
He won not the Masters, but the other major tournament.
Yeah, and he's obviously part of Live Golf. So I think that was probably more of a driving factor in the PJ saying, well, we don't have the best golfers anymore. We've kind of got to fucking merge. Otherwise, we're going to get fucking taken over here. We're going to get fucking... It's not good for us that we have another fucking company that's paying these golfers so much money, and they're winning as well. So it's not great for golf that they were sort of merged apart. Now that they're merged together, you just feel bad for those PGA players that stuck that stick with the PGA, but also you kind of feel like, mate, why didn't you take the money?
Yeah, so these idiot like Cam Smith, the Aussie guy, all these guys that went to Live, they've made $100 million in a year, and now they get to do all the best tournaments anyway. So
smart move.
Yeah, the guys that stayed, who are morally correct and they appeared to be doing the right thing, they've just
but it's morally correct. It's sports washing and all that sort of gaff. I don't know. It's very hypocritical. Where we get our oil from, where we get, a lot of, the government the government still deals with Saudi Arabia. The government still, is involved with Saudi Arabia. So why can't regular citizens be? Why can't we be sort of part of that as well? So I think it's a bit hypocritical if anyone says it. It's sports washing or whatever. Look, they've done morally reprehensible things, but so is fucking the rest of the world. I mean, like, America isn't fucking like a fallen angel or something. I mean, America's done some fucking dodgy shit. Most countries have done some fucking dodgy shit. I think it's just because we live in the, sort of the Western world, we get a sort of a viewpoint that we're always in the right, where the media always peddles that we're always doing the right thing. Which I don't think...
I would have taken the money for sure.
Yeah, but I think absolutely you take the money. But obviously golf, the PGA Tour means a lot more to those guys than it does to us. So I can understand that reasoning.
But the problem with the PGA Tour is you don't get paid unless you win the tournament, pretty much. Like in Live, they were offering you a guaranteed salary, whereas in PGA you only win based on where you finish in the weekend, like money. And if you finish below half, you get $0.
Yeah.
So it was pretty fucked.
Well, yeah, they're merging. I'm not too sure what the outcomes of the merger will be, but we'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good for the sport of golf because you get all the best players playing against each other again, which is, I think, what everyone wanted. But yeah, the people that stayed at the PGA got fucked over, and the people that went to Live,
well, yeah,
good on them. Okay, so move to UFC 289. Just went down. Most recent pay-per-view. Pretty shit pay-per-view, but there was one good fight that you looked forward to. And Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush. Dariush was actually the favourite going into this.
crazily. I don't know how.
But yeah, I thought Charles probably should have been the favourite based on what he's done recently. And yeah, he knocked him out in the first round. So
well, yeah. Hopefully, this ends the Dariush Crimea River campaign. I mean, God, that guy. Oh my God, I don't get no media coverage. Oh my God, I get no title shots. Oh, fuck off. You're a boring grey-haired fuck. Shut up.
yeah, well, he was a good fighter.
But he's like, complaining to get a title shot. Mate, not 1 inch of you is marketable. Not one little pinky of you is marketable. You have no marketable capability. This is a business. It's not a fucking charity. You've either got to be somewhat an unbelievable fighter, you have an unbelievable style that sort of wows people, or unbelievably dominant that sort of promotes yourself.
Well, Charles Oliveira had this issue before he got his title shot.
But Charles Oliveira had also won in stunning fashion. He also has unbelievable submission sort of skills, and he also has knockout power as well. He's very, even though he doesn't talk English, doesn't speak English, and he's not the biggest talker in the world, he's still a charismatic guy. Beneil Dariush is not charismatic whatsoever. There's no, and especially in that division, which is so stacked with charismatic people and charismatic fighters, there is no way that you get put up. And I know you may say that's unfair, but the UFC is in business to make money. I don't care what you say. It's not in business to make, every fighter happy. It's in business to make the most money possible. Putting Beneil Dariush in a title fight is not going to make you the most money, is it? And look, if he won against Charles Oliveira, he would have deserved it. But you lost, so you're never going in there again.
Back to the line for you.
He'll be in the top 10 for the rest of his fucking career, but he'll never fight for a title. If he does, it's silly.
Well, if he beats everyone, then he should fight for it. But
he hasn't beat everyone. He lost to Charles Oliveira.
But if he goes and wins 3 in a row now, he should still get it.
No way.
Well, it looks like Dana said it looks like they're going to do Charles Islam the rematch. But I think Islam's a bit of a bitch. I kind of hate him. He was like, I don't want to do another rematch. He doesn't want the Volk rematch. He doesn't want the Charles rematch.
Well, he doesn't want the Volk rematch because he'll know lose.
Yeah. So I think he wants the winner of Poirier Gaethje, who are fighting for the BMF title in a couple of months, which is kind of dumb that they're fighting for the BMF title, but it's a sick fight.
It was that's just such a stupid title. Why? I mean, it was really should have just been a one-time thing. The Rock showed up. Masvidal versus Nate Diaz.
Yeah, or it should have just been on the line every time Masvidal fought. So I think the lineal BMF champion is actually Leon Edwards right now.
Yeah, maybe. He doesn't really put that energy out there, though.
No, but like the lineal champion, so Masvidal lost to Usman, who lost to Leon.
Yeah.
So Leon's technically the champion.
But someone else is fighting for who's fighting for the
Gaethje and Poirier.
So it's not Leon that's fighting for it.
No, he's the lineal champion.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So it's like if you're saying he should be the champion. If the belt was on the line every time that fighter fought, Leon would be the champion.
But it's not.
Yeah, but it's not.
Just stupid. Yeah, I think. Well, we should talk about the card first and foremost. Obviously, the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Great main event.
Amanda Nunes.
Got him.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a terrible fucking spectacle. That was. I mean, what idiot was like, we're gonna put Amanda Nunes as the main card. I mean, Charles Oliveira.
It's because they don't care about Canada, so.
Yeah, they're trialing all this shit in Canada. They're just doing all the fucking weird shit that they want to do in Canada. I didn't watch the fight. I don't think anyone. No. I didn't know anyone.
I mean,
Aldana did.
Aldana, the girl that she was fighting, apparently threw like 5 strikes the entire fight. She just stood there for 25 minutes and got bashed. Yes, I watched the MMA Guru's reaction. I wasn't watching the fight. He's an entertaining dude, but he was just like. The whole time he was going, please finish her. I can't watch 25 minutes of this. Please finish her.
Fair point, mate. I mean, god damn it. It's so sad for the women's sort of divisions because there's just no star out there. There's no, even Amanda Nunes was a bit fucking boring the past couple of fights.
Like since the Cyborg fight, she was really like that made her a star back then. But just wow, she's nothing really at the moment. I mean, I'd be surprised if that pay-per-view hit 200,000 buys. I'd say it'd probably be around 150, which is pretty shocking. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, you could see in the pre-fights sort of interviews and shit, they just got no views compared to Oliveira and Dariush. So, yeah, I think that was probably a shit card, but a good co-main. Was it a co-main?
Yeah.
A good co-main event.
It was. But, I mean, for a pay-per-view and you get one good round, I mean, not really worth it for $80.
Well, I mean, if you're paying for pay-per-view, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. You just go to a pub, mate, and watch the fight.
Well, if you're rich and you got like a sick little viewing place at home, I'd buy it.
Okay. You would?
Yeah, I would.
I'd just go down to the pub. I'm just too stingy. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, moving on. Last little UFC tidbit. Conor McGregor. He's always in the news, this man, for just...
Anything but the UFC, really.
Yeah, so most recently he went to the finals game, I believe, in Miami. And I don't know who proposed it. Obviously someone at the Heat proposed it, that they do a bit where he bashes the mascot.
Because this works so well for fucking, what's his name, Deontay Wilder. It worked so well that time. Let's do it again.
Yeah, so he punches the mascot. Admittedly, he did do it reasonably hard. He probably could have done it a little bit softer. And then the mascot goes down, and then he punches him again when he's on the ground.
Just ground about.
And
just goes elbows.
Yeah, apparently the guy in the mascot went to the ER because he got fucked up from it. So
I don't know what they're thinking. It's like it's not that strong of a material. Like the punches can still. It's like if he was wearing fucking like a face guard or whatever. Like a in boxing how they have the fucking
headgear.
Headgear, yeah. It's like he's wearing that. Like he's not fucking wearing nothing. I think it sort of gets, or it's like he's wearing a fucking full metal body armor. I think people, it's just another case of people sort of misunderstanding how much different professional fighters are from non-professional fighters, or from like the general public. How crazy their power. Like Conor McGregor is viewed as washed at this point in his career. If anybody from the general, just a random person, random 30-year-old male in the general public fought him in like a bar fight or whatever, he would get absolutely fucked. He probably would die. Like that's how crazy.
If he wanted to.
That's how crazy good UFC fighters are. And I think it's just people. I think whoever set this up at Miami is just an idiot. You can maybe do a fake punch or like a gut punch or whatever.
Yeah, you could do like a little shadow box or something,
do something like little like that. But to sanction him just fucking clobbering a guy that's never taken a punch in his life, probably.
That's the mascot guy. I wonder if he was on board with it or if he was like, I guess I have to do this.
They probably got told 30 seconds before it happened. It's like, oh, by the way, you're getting punched by Conor McGregor. All right, go on. It's like, fuck. Oh, okay. Yay. Cool.
Yeah, so it's like, I wonder if the guy will try and sue him or something. I don't know.
He should.
But since
should sue the Heat.
But since they asked him to do it, I don't know.
Yeah, you won't win against Conor McGregor. Maybe sue the Heat.
The Heat, I mean,
but he works there as well. It works there. He's probably getting a couple.
Yeah, it's probably
getting a couple.
It's probably in his contract that whatever they say he has to do or something.
Yeah, probably, but he is probably getting some hush money under the table. He's probably getting. Hey, it's a nice trip with your family to
Denver for Game 5.
Yeah, you're invited, bro. Courtside. So yeah, it was very funny watching it, but it's just again people not understanding the power that fucking MMA. I know Conor's like fucking 5'9" or whatever, but he's still fucking powerful.
He's jacked. He's like
he's on roids as well. What are you fucking doing?
Yeah, so interesting. I know the other thing that's going on with Conor McGregor at the moment, obviously, is The Ultimate Fighter. Obviously, the show not the best so far. It got I think it only had like 200,000 or 250,000 viewers for the first episode, which is pretty bad. Like from a historical context, but The Ultimate Fighter as an entity.
Well, because it's a product. The product is shit.
Yeah,
I watched the first episode. I'm not interested in watching anything else, any other episode. Who gives a flying fuck about some 35-year-old bum that's trying to get into the UFC? Respectfully, trying to get into the UFC again. And you're telling it back, oh, look at his kids. Oh, look at he went to this gym in fucking Albuquerque, New Mexico. Like, no one gives a fuck. Show Conor the best. I told Oscar this actually. The best part of The Ultimate Fighter of the first episode was the first fucking minute of the show where Conor McGregor strolls in like fucking Billy Big Bollocks. Michael Chandler's already in there, and Conor McGregor says, "Oh, I'm thinking maybe 185." And then
You'll do as you're told.
Chandler was like, "Yeah, I'll do 185." Mate, you'll do as you're fucking told. And that is a fucking class line. And it was classic Conor McGregor. That's what you want to see. That's why fucking Uriah Faber versus Conor McGregor was so good. No, who the fuck remembers anyone that competed in that series?
They had Cody Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw in the show, which made it good.
But every 99% of that show was Conor McGregor going at it against Uriah Faber. That was the show. But that's
also,
what the people care about. Stop making this show about fucking these prospects, and make it about the coaches. They're even not in Conor McGregor's season. Make it about whatever coach or whatever professional fighter or UFC fighter coaches next or beforehand. Make it about them. No one cares about the fucking prospects. Yeah. Make it about the fucking people that we know about.
Yeah, and they do like one fight every episode, and the fights so far have been like 8 seconds.
Conor's team is getting fucked.
Yeah, and it's like you do an hour of build up on these two guys for one shitty fight at the end.
It's like, oh my god, your family's so, and in the fucking house, they're like back
they're
in the
friends.
day. Yeah, watching UFC Ultimate Fighter back in the day, Nate Diaz was fucking throwing bananas at fucking the other team's house or the other team's fucking room or whatever. They were fucking shitting in each other's toilet. Like they were doing the most stupid thing, and it was hilarious. That was the only time you saw the fucking contestants. Nowadays, and they're all in this fucking house together. And I saw a clip the other day. Oh my god, your family's so cute. Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, your girl's so cute. I'm like, what the fuck is this? They're fighting each other. They're not fucking making fucking doing pigtails and fucking singing Ring Around the Rosie. They're fucking fighting each other. Let them be dickheads to each other. I just don't understand it. It's such a terrible product right now. How it's gone for the 31 season still is beyond me.
Yeah, well, it's because Dana fucking loves it. Nobody else in the UFC.
Well,
thinks
I mean,
it's
he
a good
is
idea.
loyal to it because to be fair, it did save the UFC.
It did put them on the map, but that's the thing. Like in the old seasons, even the fighters themselves, other than the coaches, it created incredible fighters. Tony Ferguson, Michael Bisping, Nate Diaz, Robert Whittaker, like incredible fighters came out of the Ultimate Fighter. All of these guys are bums. Nobody in this show is going to ever get ranked in the UFC. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
like all the talent that is good in the world is already in the UFC.
Yeah,
like
that's probably the main thing. Yeah,
yeah. Like 15 years ago, the UFC was looking for talent. So, and the way to do that was bring them onto the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
but it's already done now. Like,
yeah, that is fair. That UFC's got such a big global reach. But back then, it was mainly just an American product. But globally, they were bringing Kamaru Usmans of the world. They were able to recruit a lot of these guys through the Ultimate Fighter and sort of see what, this country's best fighter is looking like, or this country's best fighter was looking like, and they could bring them together into the Ultimate Fighter. But there's so many ways that they do it now. Even still, that they fucking... There's
like the Contender Series.
They just poach... Yeah, they do Contender Series, but even now, if there's a good fighter in fucking Bellator or something, they could just poach him anyway. They just poach him. Like with Chandler, they didn't put him to the Ultimate Fighter. They just fucking had him... They just signed him.
Yeah.
The product itself is becoming a bit... It is not as valuable as it once was.
Or if you're going to do it...
Put a bunch of 19-year-old kids in there. Put a bunch of 20-year-old kids that are going to... Like college kids that are fucking crazy. And just fucking that have done like a bit of MMA practice.
Just do a frat house.
And
then throw them in a cage at the end.
It's a frat house. And then they just put them in a cage, fucking fight each other.
And just release all the episodes at once. Like, fuck off the one episode a week thing.
Yeah, mate. I'm not... Like, what kind of excitement... You're going to give me some fucking sob story about some fucking Mexican geezer. Oh, my God.
We get to see 2 new people with 2 new families.
Great. Wow. Fucking,
and one of them will get knocked out in the first round.
Lovely. Can't wait to fucking see that shit.
And Conor will just scream at the cage for the 10 seconds that they're fighting.
Yeah, it's such a shit product right now. So, yeah, hopefully that gets... I was looking forward to it so much as well, but then I just forgot. I forgot in my mind that this show has gone to shit. So that's probably why.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing was, Conor McGregor's going to save it because he's back, but even he cannot save it. So,
not surprising, but yeah, it's just sad at the moment. Sad.
Sad. Well, that's pretty much it, I think.
That's it. Well, yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy the podcast. There's a lot happening in the world of sport. Hopefully New South Wales pull it out instead of Origin. I actually am going on a little trip. So the next episode may be on a Zoom or on an online sort of connection basis. It won't be as unbelievable as the current setup that we have right now.
I know, the annoying thing is how small the screen is. When you watch it on YouTube, it's not big enough.
So, but yeah, the screen will be bigger next time. That's a benefit because I am in a different country. So hopefully enjoying this episode. We'll put out another one in a couple of weeks or a week or so. So yeah, hope you enjoyed and go follow us on all platforms, bruv.
Yeah, and subscribe and all that shit.
All that shiznit.
Yeah, peace out.